Hey guys, SoCal Val here. You are listening to the Hitting the Turnbuckle podcast.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to the Hitting the Turnbuckle podcast. This is our Ringside View show. Now, Ringside View is a little bit different to our usual wrestling interviews. Normally, we'd interview wrestlers, as everybody knows, but we've done this Ringside View and it's been quite successful. And we take you, I'd say, behind the curtain a little bit, but it gives you more a broader aspect about wrestling, because it ain't just about two wrestlers. You do need referees, which you've had on. We do need commentators, which you have on. But more importantly, what you need all than that is a promoter to book the wrestlers and book the commentators. And we have one here from the UKPW. Oh, your name's DOW Jones on here. So hello.
I've literally just changed it. I realised, kayfabe, right?
Kayfabe is important. You can never let it go. But from the UKPW, DOW Jones, how are you?
I'm very good, sir. Thank you so much for having me. It's a real privilege.
I know, it's great for you to have you come on. We love having wrestling promoters, and we love getting down to as many shows. We haven't attended a UKPW show yet, but
we can change that.
We will change that. We will certainly get down. We try and go as many as we can. First thing, though, what on earth brought you into the world of wrestling in a promotional aspect?
What I love that question, and I was prepared for that one. I was prepared for that. So, was a wrestler, 15 years. I think it's the usual story with most people. You never grew up, just loved it as a child, loved it. And then it was funny timing, because the decision to go into promoting was just before that horrible, let's call it when the world shut down.
Yeah.
So it was just before then. And we were going to launch a show. We were going to relaunch UKPW. So UKPW was run by a gentleman named Anton Green. I owe him a tremendous amount. And he was essentially like, actually, I'm probably going to stop doing this. And my whole wrestling sort of back catalogue was with that promotion. So I won't lie, I think there's a little bit of ego in there going, I can't let all of that stuff die.
No.
So myself and co-promoter, as we mentioned, for the purposes of this, we shall call him Fentos. We are, I'm going to ruin a lot of sort of secrets here. We are family, which I think a lot of people don't realize. He's, I think, 11 years younger than me, so he's my cousin. So together, we clubbed together, bought UKPW, pandemic hit. And actually, in some ways, that was kind of a good thing, because we then gave us time to prepare. We didn't realize how many things needed to go into running an actual event. We were like, yeah, we can do this. Very quickly realized, oh, wait, what do you mean insurance? Oh, wait, what do you mean public liability? Oh, wait, what do you mean all these other legal things that we're meant to be doing? So we got all of those things into place. And to speed up the story a bit, there was that weird period where the events were nearly allowed and then they weren't, and we were in this very unique position where we had a chance of being able to actually run the first UK show, because we had a partnership with a shopping centre, and shopping centres were open and they could run events, and we're like, oh my god, we can run wrestling events. And then rules changed. No. But eventually we got going. But to answer your question, in short, big wrestling fan, didn't want to see the promotion die. And actually, I know what it's like for wrestlers trying to get on shows, and I hated the idea of another promotion dying, and it was one less place for people to go. So really, the motivation is to really create a platform for people to show off their amazing skills.
Yeah, that's really important. We did co-promote a show in July, Buckle Up, with our good friends at Ignite.
Yes,
and that was stressful enough co-promoting. We didn't get involved in, like, we just said, yeah, we'll do that, and then you get, I suppose there's a politics side. If you book a certain champion from a certain promotion, they ain't going to want to come and lose, or they're in a triple threat but they can't take the pinfall and stuff like that. So I suppose really is, how do you navigate that yourself? Because I've seen some names that you've got coming on your next show. One of them in particular, one I like very much, is JJ Gow, for example. But when you book in, because obviously every kind of promotion has their core roster, so they have the core people that will come in, week out, and then you'll get imports in. How do you manage imports differently to, say, your core talent?
What a great, I love that question. I suppose for me, it's trying to be as transparent as possible, and that's where actually it's got me in trouble sometimes, because plans change.
Yeah.
And so you say to someone like, hey, this is the plan. I want to do this storyline. And then something brand new comes in and you go, oh, let's do that. And of course, this person was expecting something, but
Yeah.
actually I should have kept my mouth shut. So that was one of my first lessons was actually, I really want to be transparent with our wrestlers and our loyal audience. But actually, one of the early lessons was, no, that's a problem because a common thing that we keep running into is, unfortunately, some wrestlers are really poor at keeping their diaries up to date. So we keep booking people and we keep being told, I don't know, 4 weeks before the event, yeah, sorry, can't make that one. Why? I'm on another show. Wait, what? How'd that happen? So that's been our biggest trouble is, so to answer your question directly, the core people, it becomes like, who do you know you can trust? Who do you know is willing to be there? They want to be there. And I'm sure we'll talk about some of the other types of events we do, but we do a lot of charity events.
Yeah.
And I like it when there's people that go like, hey, no, I'm here for the good day. And I take that as a real high five and solidarity to go like, no, we want to be here because it is for charity. There's no money in this. So there's an element of me going, okay, yeah, I get it. If you're being selfish, yeah, I want the booking, I want the TV time, whatever. But actually, you've taken time out of your week, your month to help us out. I kind of want to pay the favor back. So we have core people that I tend to like talk to semi-regularly and be like, hey, who do you want to wrestle? Who do you want to go against? Now, we have a committee of booking, so it's not just myself. There's others involved as well. So there's sometimes clashes on that. But when you bring people in, I think it's all about being quite transparent, going, right, the goal of this is X, Y, Z. Put this person over. Or, being quite blunt, do a really amazing match so I can get all the clips to make amazing highlight videos, like whatever the purpose might be. But I think, yeah, for your core people, it's understanding where you want to go with that character. People in, it's one shot job. Like, hey, this is what we need.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, we know all about talent and putting out, so I won't talk about that in this book.
It's never malicious, is how I phrase it. I don't think anyone's ever been malicious. And I think it's I must defend, I feel bad sort of saying that, but I feel like I need to defend. That's part and parcel of learning.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I double booked. And I like to think people go, whoa, Alex didn't kick off.
Yeah.
Which I get can be a problem because then people, I think that we're a pushover.
Yeah.
But there are some people where you go, you've kind of accidentally burnt that bridge. It's really hard for us to book you again because it's the third time you've done that.
Yeah, exactly. I know what that is. Yeah, no comment from me on this particular one. Suffice to say, our title match had to change with 24 hours notice at the weekend.
Yeah, not nice.
Yeah, we'll get into that maybe off air. Anyway, it's not just it's not just the fact that you've got to book talent and you also need a ring. You also need production stuff. Because obviously I know a guy, Brett, that does a lot of the stuff that we do, is a great job for us, or does a great job for Ignite, does Jurassic Pro Wrestling, goes all around and
does everything, right?
Yeah, he does. He literally brings the ring and everything like that. But again, it's another sort of, I suppose, key to the unlocking this wrestling door. You need to have all of that. And in some cases, when you hire out places, you need your own lighting, you need everything else. And again, it's not something that people really understand when they go, oh, we'll just put on a show.
Yeah, and I mean, don't get me wrong, you can just hire a ring,
yeah,
get people in a room, and we're done. And I've done many of those shows.
Yeah.
But one of the things when we took over UKPW, we realized, hang on, when the pandemic's done, people are going to want to do these shows. And actually, who rents the ring? You're at the mercy of their availability. Can't do the show without them. Exactly. So we sort of internally had the discussion, let's buy our own ring here. Yeah. So we bought what I would call a holiday camp show ring. So it's a small ring, 14 foot. We were like, this will only be like a hobby. We'll do one show every 2 months. We won't do loads. And then at the moment, we're on to do like 19 shows for 2024. And we're like, we probably should have bought a bigger ring. Because again, I was used to doing what I call the holiday camp style, just wrestle, a bit of booyah, whatever. But we've sort of got this weird mesh of family friendly, fun. But then also you got people going, hey, you've got quite a good following on YouTube and social media. Yeah. Can we do like a progress level wrestling match in your 14-foot ring? Go for it. The amount of times I've seen our ring nearly tip over, it's really funny. It's really
I must admit, talk about progress. That was one of the big things we've done with Ignite this weekend, it felt like a progress show. Every match was ridiculously good and ridiculously talented. And I think people are being more amazed nowadays how the talent in the UK is unbelievable. Like people like Taylor James and Scotty Rourke, Kira Kimura from France, and people like that are just so talented. And sometimes they just go so under the radar because they're not like the Michael Oku's or the Conor Millses and people like that. Or they're not known in America. They haven't been to America, stuff like that. But there is just so much great talent out there. And it's absolutely key and fundamental that they get on any show, as many shows as they can, to build up their matches, to build up their experience, because they may get that break one day, because the British scene at the moment is so hot.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, that's the motivation for us to do what we do. So to come back to your question about production, I'm quite proud. Like I say, quite proud. I'm very proud of what we're able to achieve. Call it every favor in the book. I'm the luckiest man or luckiest promoter in the UK, because essentially all of our gear is our own. We own it all. We don't really hire anything out. So our stage is ours, our ring is ours, our cameras are ours. The crew, so basically it's a crew of us, so we do it all. We get people obviously to help out with filming and commentary and whatever, but it's really fun to create a live wrestling environment. And we're also on legitimate television, so we're on local television in a place what's called KMTV, which is Kent Television.
I've got it, I watch it.
Nice.
I've seen it.
Thank you so much. And I mean, maybe this is a conversation for another day, but learning to produce wrestling for an actual Ofcom regulated channel, I've learned things that are mind blowing. And so I do have to keep my cards on my chest, because I think, no, I had to learn that the hard way. And there are certain things you can and can't do in a wrestling ring that are broadcastable according to British television rules.
Oh, really?
And it's really interesting. So as a very quick example, in the early days when we were still figuring stuff out, so firstly, you've got to get the timing right. You have a 1 hour show with ad breaks. So you've got 12 minutes.
Yeah.
It's not 12 minutes in a second. It is 12 minutes.
Yeah.
So you've got to time everything out. But then you get strange things like, as an example, we had a mixed, so we're quite big on intergender wrestling. We use a phrase, equal rights, equal fights.
Yeah.
Can tell these stories. Why not?
Yeah.
So in the early days, we did a lot of these, and we learned a lot about broadcast rules, because they were uneasy on this for certain reasons. Yeah. If you think of it, if you be blunt, here comes big 6 foot man punching woman in face.
Yeah.
It doesn't fly. So we got told a few times, like, you need to cut that or go to a different angle. And you go, whoa, that's hard. But the one thing that really blew my mind, there was a wrestler that used her nails, scraped them across the back of the male wrestler, and we couldn't edit this out of the match. We couldn't put anything else in.
No.
They said, you're going to have to put a warning on the screen. And literally, we had to put a warning on the screen that says, do not try this at home. And we're like, why? And they go, well, that is very easily copied. And you go, but all of it is. Why is that bit? Why do I? So I think Ofcom have certain rules and regulations, especially between the genders. So we've learned tons about what can and can't be done on, let's call it, family friendly television. So our program has to be available to be broadcast all day, every day. So you can't be like, this is only after 8 o'clock. I'm sure you can get away with little things, but our program is meant to be as super family friendly as possible. Again, I won't name names. I definitely don't want to throw anyone under the bridge, but there are certain characters where they go, nope, not broadcasting them. Nope. And you go, really? And then you ask why, and then they give you like a snippet of the Ofcom regs, and you go, yeah, okay, that totally violates every single one of them rules.
That's mad. That is crazy. I was going to get onto that, but you kind of led me to the television, which is interesting that you made those points. We actually know, I think you probably know the team, the Odyssey, quite well.
Yes, great team.
Oh, what a great, they're fantastic. We're great friends of the show. We speak to them quite often. They're actually at the event we went to on Sunday. Nice. It's really interesting that you made that, but let's get on with some shows that you've had now. Recently, you've had Tables, Ladders and Scares 3, which you've done, which was a really successful show of all stretch of the imagination. But now you're going to your next event, and this is going to be a really big one for you guys. You've got a lot of stuff going on. I'm going to read some of the stuff that I've got written down. So it's obviously Sunday, November 26th. It's in Canterbury, obviously. So that's hence why they're on Kent TV.
Boom. There you go,
Boom.
for the worldwide audience.
I'm an Essex boy. We're not far from Kent. But anyway, Sapphire Reed was unable to attend, wasn't it?
Unfortunately, yes. So these things happen again. It's unfortunate.
Yes, exactly that. David Francisco from Ring of Honor. Not Ring of Honor, Rev Pro. Sorry.
I'm sure we can do some editing and make out that he's from Ring of Honor.
No, I don't mind. I always do one take. So if I get it wrong, it stays in. It's my bad. Wait until you hear me try and pronounce some Japanese names. It took me ages to get Takeshita right. Go and figure that one.
Love that.
Obviously, James Mason and Johnny Kidd.
Yeah, really proud of that one. Really proud. I'm a huge advocate for the world of sports style of wrestling. And maybe it's part of the fact that we got like the UKPW branding. Like you'll notice it's the Union flag.
For those.
Yeah, right. Right. And I'm such a big fan of it. So to have like originals, like they both were on World of Sport back in the day. James Mason, obviously, towards the end of that.
Yeah.
But Johnny Kidd, Mr. Smooth, is an absolute hero of our profession. So to have him in Canterbury against Mason, I'll be honest, this is one of the times where I do it. So there's a committee, there are people that do, but this is where like, no, by the way, I've done this. No one can say anything. It's happening now. Whenever you see any like promo or video hyping up the event, my voiceover, it is genuine excitement. It's James Mason against Johnny Kidd in a World of Sport rounds match.
Brilliant. That's going to be an interesting match for people that haven't seen it. A World of Sport match. You're in for a treat. You've also got a street fight.
Yeah, going both spectrums here.
Yeah. Mr. The Now versus the Law Louis Basham.
Yeah, the two people that I mean, obviously proper fans are watching this. The two people that I love and adore for loads of different reasons. And I always feel the Nail never got his just dues done. So we broke into wrestling at the same time. And for some reason, people didn't, I think they just didn't get him. And it was upsetting because I kept looking at him going, you're way better than me. And I'm on this. How's that happened? So I feel like we're trying to make up for lost time. And then, the Law Lewis Basham, it's people like that, and again, like Odyssey, and I'm sure there's loads of others that we can name. When I see them at our events, it's a reminder of why we do what we're doing. Because we have full-time jobs. I work in London. I commute in every day, blah, 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 all that kind of stuff. So then you're having to then also promote an event, go through all the legal mumbo jumbo, try and sell tickets. You're risking a lot of finances. But when Lewis Basham, every time he walks in and shakes my hand, I just look at him in the eyes, and in the back of my mind, I just go, yeah, this is worth it.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
You wouldn't have I say you wouldn't have the platform. He'd make it, but I just want to speed that process up.
Yeah, and it won't. Surely it shouldn't be too long, as you say.
Surely.
Although you don't necessarily want him to leave, but
No, true.
We'll get onto that. That was another question. We'll get onto that in a minute. UKPW Championship main event is. I'm looking for. Well, although unfortunately I'm at another show on that day, so I can't attend this one. But I saw this and I was looking at it, and I was like, my God, Alexander Roth against JJ Gao.
Yeah, right.
I
mean, what a match!
Yes.
What I like as well, and I'm going to pat myself on the back here, so apologies.
Barry Horowitz.
Sound, yeah, exactly. But I'm glad you said that because I said that once in another interview, and they were like, "We have no idea what you mean." It was really embarrassing. It's like, oh, I thought this was a nerd chat. Oh, okay, apologies. So Barry Horowitz, this. I like that we have I think we have a really diverse roster, and that's by design. Because I remember when I broke in, you tended to only ever work the people that you trained with, and then you might be lucky and you might be able to work another promotion. But again, 80% of that promotion was the same wrestlers. So in my mind, I've always wanted to mix everything. All the different schools, all the different regions. Obviously, cost prohibitive in some cases. You can't go too far north. But Roth and Gale is sort of like the epitome of what we're talking about. I don't know if and when these two would have ever have clashed in the next 5 years if we didn't exist, because they're totally different circles of people, totally different training, but two incredibly brilliant and talented people. that I am genuinely proud to go, that is our main event on our biggest show of the year. If you are a fan of British wrestling and you want to see the best at what this country has, that is the match that I can go, boom, this is what you're watching. This is the main. And again, broadcast on TV. We've got our big YouTube stuff.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
Exactly. It's going to be a hell of a show. We're going to go back. If you could have, here's a question now. In the UK scene, here we go. If you could pick anyone in the UK scene right now to go against maybe Roth or one of your people, who would it be? I'll tell you for why. We picked at Buckle Up, we picked Taylor James of the Rebellion to go against Michael Oku. And they,
makes sense.
It was a brilliant match. But who would you pick to go against one of your, and what talent would it be from the UKPW roster?
I think so what I really like, what a great question. I wasn't prepared for that one.
So I catch you out sometimes.
Yeah, so I think the immediate one that comes to mind is a match we've tried to get done. But again, availability is rightfully. I'd like to have done Roth versus Miller, Simon Miller.
Yeah.
We've had Simon Miller on our events, lovely man. And in my mind, I have this story that I'd like to tell. I won't say because I feel like I can still get this done. But yeah, Simon Miller immediately comes to mind. I mean, yeah, OJMO, like Michael Oku makes sense. Him and Roth just makes sense. I mean, for anyone that's diehard UKPW fan, if you watch back some of Roth's matches, you will see that we've planted that seed. It's there. And I like doing all the storytelling in what we call the event centers. And I hope we may be able to do that one day, to go like, did you notice this, this, and this? But yeah, I think, that makes it. But yeah, Simon Miller is the one that immediately came to mind.
Yeah, well, the OJMO, if you're listening, and I know you watch because you've been on the show, speak to them
right there.
Make it happen. The other one that I liked and I love watching is Connor Mills.
Oh, Connor Mills is so good.
True grit.
I had the privilege of wrestling Connor Mills on a holiday camp show.
Oh, really?
And it's like wrestlers don't like talking about this. Like holiday camp, that's where you learn. That's where you do. Essentially, my career is essentially all at holiday camps. But I remember wrestling Mills, and it was one of the biggest live reactions I ever got when, spoilers, he wins. Because it was quite fun. He apologies, I know we're meant to be talking about promotion stuff, but what was great was wrestling someone that was just a great, like, I know he's got a different gimmick now, but a great babyface. He understood the moves and he understood the things that go between the beats of the moves. So when I'm beating down on the guy, he was one of the only wrestlers that actually was like, yeah, I'm going to at least try to fight back and try and show a bit of fight still. So eventually when we got to the finish of the match, and I think we ended it with, I want to say he did a 450. I want to say that it was some kind of top rope move. Does the move, big loud reaction, but it was very rare in those kind of shows that I got what I called the double pop, which was the move, and then the three. It's so good. So I remember lying there smiling, going, that really hurt, but it was worth it.
And believe me, Connor Mills' stuff hurts. But I've never experienced it. I've listened and I've heard enough of it to know when he hits you.
Yeah, I think I've still got crooked teeth.
Yeah, there you go. You don't even need me to tell you. Someone who can tell you that. We were just touching on it before that. So you have this core base of talent that that you'll always pick on a show. And inevitably, at one point, and we've had it very well, Ignite. I see waves because I'm so used to going to Ignite shows. They've had it recently with Mark True. Now, Mark True is now been doing Revolution Pro Wrestling with Kieran Lacey as a tag team, and they knocked it out of the park in their match. And I suppose as a promoter, when you hear and you see your guys' names on a Rev Pro list or a Progress, part of you is really proud, and part of you is like, yes, brilliant. But then there's the part that thinks, oh shit. The time could be coming close before they're not here anymore. So do you kind of have to then maybe have, and I don't mean this disrespectfully, like a reserve list of, say, like a talent that you could bring in to replace Z talent on an ongoing basis?
Yeah, something we learned I say the hard way. That sounds like we made an error somewhere, but yeah, you do. You gotta, if you look at when we launched in 2021,
Yeah.
and then you look at what we've got at the end of this year, you could argue we've done that. We've not recycled, but we've cycled through to lots of different people.
Yeah.
And I think there was a point where we were like running out of people. We're like, we've run out of people. And it's why I like our charity shows, because I remember trying to get on shows.
Yeah.
And there's a real debate about the value of someone. So, and what I mean by that is working for free, working for very little. And I have quite a harsh opinion on this, because unlike, say, let's say you learn to be a hairdresser, or you learn to be an electrician, or you learn to and you get a qualification.
Yeah.
You can say, I am one of these. That is why I charge this price. But in pro wrestling, you don't. So you're only as good as your word. And if you have no back catalogue and you have no background, I can't see how you can go, yeah, I'm making up numbers, by the way, but I can't see how you can go, yeah, I'm worth £50 straight away. You can't sell. I can't see that you can sell me a ticket, and I can't see that I know you can do it in a training school, but can you do it in a live event? So the charity shows that we do tend to be things like on the high street, like quite cool locations. I like to think, like, I would have killed to wrestle on Gillingham High Street. There was like 300 people all surrounded the ring, loads of people. And I like them shows because you go, I'm giving you a platform with all of these people and a television show, and you're going to get all the footage later. I can't pay you because I'm already out of pocket. This is a charity event. So now I've got 9 matches on the show. I can't pay you all because I've got no money in the first place.
Yeah.
But if you do the match, you get all the footage. It's all yours to use for self-promotion, blah, blah, all that kind of good stuff. And then what's been great is that when I look back at some of the first ones and I go, basically all of that show are now our regulars. Because they just needed a chance to go, hey, look at how good I am. And you can see the differences, because of course then there's a confidence boost. Hey, I just did that in front of 300 people or however many people were there. And so I know it rubs people up the wrong way, but the harsh reality in pro wrestling is there's no qualification. You're only as good as, I say, your last match, but your back catalogue. And when you're breaking in, unfortunately, unless your trainer vouches for you and goes to a promoter, you're in this ever cycle of, and it's, so I work in recruitment. So hopefully this makes sense to a lot of people, but you can't get the experience without getting the job, but you can't get the job without the experience.
Yeah.
So I want to break that cycle. Come to our show, be on it. I've got a gap, please.
Yeah. Exactly. I've actually just got, or watching it while you've been talking. Not. I'm not paying attention to you.
Yeah, you're really bored. Don't worry, it's fine.
Yeah, it's Back to Brawl in Bexley.
Back to Brawl, yes.
And a good friend, well, someone who tore the house down on the show was at Sunday. Joe Lando was doing a
yes.
I love CPF. Well, it's amazing.
They're incredible.
They are indeed. As we start to wrap up on this, obviously we can't talk about wrestling, we can't talk about promotion without its fans.
Correct.
How important the fans are. You'll get the loyal fans that come in, week out. You'll get people that, we had one on Sunday that just Googled local wrestling show to Boreham Wood, and Ignite popped up, and they went and they had, I think they bought tickets again to go to the February show. But the bottom line is, without the fans, without even the promotion that you guys do, you give flyers out, you promote on, social medias and that, but you still need that core base of them fans that you see every show that come and pop up, and they are the ones that they really are the lifeblood of any business.
Absolutely. And we have the reason why I pause is I get stopped at Victoria train station, and I'm the presenter. And so, because we've got the TV thing, and this is where, again, sorry to keep, sounds like I'm bragging, apologies.
No, it's good.
But it's being, so a lot of wrestling people promote to wrestling people.
Yeah.
I am trying to promote to I call it the working man. Like, there are loads of people in the late 90s and early 2000s that watched pro wrestling, and then they stopped. Where are they now? They're grown-ups. They've got kids.
Yeah.
And so I'm going, how can I get to them? So the television with KMTV, I think, really helps, because we're seen by thousands of people for free every week.
Yeah.
And so I'm very fortunate to be one of the presenters, although I'm trying to fob that off to other people because I feel like it becomes an egotistic show of me. So it's like, right, you do that. But I'll be at train station and I will get someone looking at me like in a really funny light.
Yeah,
And I'm then getting annoyed going, I just want to go home. And then they go, are you that wrestling guy? And then I don't know how to react because for so long I've been the bad guy.
Yeah.
But now I'm trying to transition to this like neutral character. And I'm like, yeah. And then it was weird. One family asked me to do a sorry, not family, this man in a suit asked me to do a video to his daughter, like, can you be Dow Jones? And it was the weirdest 30 seconds at the train station, trying to be in character, but also be trying to go home. But yeah, love our fans. They come all the way across Kent. We do shows in a place called Falconwood, which is just on the border of London and Kent. And we'll go all the other way over to Canterbury. And it blows my mind that we'll have fans that are in Dover, that are the furthest away, and they'll come all the way over to Falconwood, which is a very long drive, to be fair. But I love them. And we have our Patreon. I call them our Patreon peeps. So people that can level up and they get access like this. Well, I'll talk to the fans like this and answer some questions where possible. But yeah, love them. Can't get enough of them.
Exactly that. Whilst we're finishing up now, though, why don't you tell us about, we said about the other events, if you've got any other events coming on, where can they get tickets? Where can they find you guys on social media?
Well, best place to get all of your information is we use all of the social media networks. So Facebook, it will be United Kingdom Pro Wrestling. You'll see us, we're the top answer. Instagram and YouTube, it's UKPW_wrestling. KMTV, Channel 7 Freeview. We're basically there every weekend at 8 p.m. And best place to get tickets, www.ukpw.shop. But that's I could talk about it all day. Thank you so much for your time, sir.
No worries at all. Before we go, I need to just do my bit of plugging now. So last Sunday, we went to Ignite. Our Turnbuckle Championship was defended successfully by Smashing Mike, and big thanks to Will Cruz for stepping in at the last minute after Mike's original opponent pulled out. But Mike's next opponent has already just been announced, which will be Man Like Dries in February. So we want that title to be a workhorse title for that very reason. On that same show itself, we had a double title change. Gene Money did defeat Corey McRae for the Ignite Championship for 20 seconds. And then Adonis Payne from the Odyssey cashed in his breakout tournament shot, which he won earlier on in the night, and dethroned Gene Money, slightly controversially, by hitting him with the championship and then the Claymore kick. So he now ends the year as Ignite Wrestling Champion. But coming up on this show, coming forward, we're back with review shows. We've got SmackDown, we've got to do AEW, Dynamite, Collision, Rampage, Full Gear this weekend as well. And then Monday, we're excited on Monday. We sit down with the man, Mr. Eric Bischoff, to talk. If you're a fan, and obviously like yourselves and me have been wrestling for so long, you know who that guy is. I don't even need to explain what he done for wrestling. But I have to thank Fiona for Inside the Ropes. That was the biggest surprise I've ever had, one of the biggest surprises I've ever had in my life. Went to an Inside the Ropes show, which Fiona Lochran, who you guys know does our NWA stuff, was there. She had spoken to Eric Bischoff before. She said she had some podcast friends coming down. He said, "Oh, what podcast do you do?" She said wrestling. And what I didn't know was he said to her, "I'll do it." And then as I went to the toilet while I was in the line, Fiona spoke to my missus and she said, "Don't tell him that he's said he's going to do it." Went up to meet him. She said, "Hi, this is Adam who does the podcast." And we started talking. And he finished it with, "Oh, by the way, I'm coming on your show." It's just like, oh.
Eric Bischoff's amazing. I was able to meet him a few years ago. One of my favorite photos. He's such a great man.
He is. He's a fantastic guy. So we've got that next week. As the weeks and months come to a close, or as the year comes to a close, we are attending more shows. We're at Progress Wrestling the same day. Unfortunately, your show's out, which I would have gone to that. We still need to thank Impact Wrestling for allowing us to come as a media guide. We did send you the video, the shots, by the way, Impact, if you want to get involved, if you want to have a look at those. We're at Sacrifice Pro Wrestling, a charity show. We're going to be going there at the end of middle of December. CJ Carter from Ignite is a special guest host. The Odyssey have been announced for that show as well. And then as we come towards the end of the year, start of next year, we'll be announcing our 2024 class of sponsorships. We've just finished signing off the last couple of names. very well deserving. We are going to take them very seriously. There's going to be some nice video packages, some sit-down interviews with them, and some proper photo shoots for 2024. So we're really looking forward to that and doing that. But Mr. Dow Jones, I have to thank you for your time. I think I can't wait to come and see UKPW show. I'll definitely get down there. I say it won't be the next show. Maybe it'll be the show after that. Guys, if you haven't already gone down there, yeah, you look, get yourself on TV as well, or you can get yourself on TV, but go and support your local wrestling, go and support British wrestling, no matter who it is. Get down there, go and see a UKPW show. I wish you the very best of luck. Not that you guys need it going forward. Fantastic job. I watch you on TV as well, and I will get down to see your show, but thank you so much for your time. It's been an absolute pleasure talking to you, and good luck with your UKPW going forward.
Thank you kindly, sir. Have a wonderful day.
You too. Guys, this has been the Hitting the Turnbuckle podcast. I have been your host, Adam Cousins. He has been Dow Jones from UKPW. And until next time, everybody, buckle down and stay safe.